Why is it that, no matter how hard we try, we always seem to put things off until the last possible moment? That one big project, the gym membership we bought last January, or even that book we promised ourselves we'd read? Somehow we end up scrolling, binge-watching, or doing anything but the task at hand. Today, we're diving into the fascinating science of procrastination. Why do we procrastinate, and what's really going on inside our brains when we do it? More importantly, can we hack our minds to stop this habit? We'll take a look at the brain's hidden instant gratification monkey, the part of us that craves comfort and avoids discomfort at all costs. We'll also explore why humans have such a tough time with long-term goals like learning a new skill or sticking to healthy habits. Spoiler alert. It's not just a lack of willpower. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand why you procrastinate, but also walk away with powerful, science-backed strategies to kick the habit and become more productive. Ready to take back control? Let's get into it. Procrastination isn't a modern phenomenon. It dates back to ancient civilizations where scholars and philosophers like Socrates and Aristotle pondered over why humans delay tasks. In today's world, procrastination impacts various aspects of our lives, from our careers and finances to our personal relationships and mental health. Missed deadlines, financial stress, and strained relationships are just a few of the consequences of putting things off. Over the years, countless strategies and tools have been developed to combat procrastination, yet it remains a common struggle for many. But don't worry, understanding the science behind it can help us find more effective solutions. So, are you ready to dive deep and uncover the secrets to overcoming procrastination? Let's get started. Procrastination isn't just a bad habit. It's hardwired into our brains. It's a complex interplay of various brain regions that makes us delay tasks, even when we know we shouldn't. To understand why, we have to meet two critical players, the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex. These two parts of the brain are constantly at odds, influencing our behavior in different ways. The limbic system, also known as the instant gratification monkey, is the part of the brain that craves pleasure and avoids pain. It's the reason we reach for that extra slice of cake or binge watch our favorite shows. It's designed to seek out things that make us feel good now, whether that's watching another YouTube video or checking social media one more time. This part of the brain is all about immediate rewards. When we feel the urge to put off a task, it's often this part of our brain taking over. It's like having a little voice in your head saying, "Just one more episode, it won't hurt." On the other hand, we have the prefrontal cortex, the logical, decision-making part of the brain that helps us plan, set goals, and weigh long-term benefits over short-term pleasure. It's the part that tells us to focus and get things done. But here's the catch. The prefrontal cortex is relatively new in terms of evolution and, unfortunately, not very strong against the urges of the limbic system. It's like a new player trying to compete with a seasoned pro. So why do these two parts of the brain clash? It comes down to dopamine. This chemical messenger plays a crucial role in our reward system. When we choose short-term pleasure like scrolling Instagram or playing a game, our brain releases dopamine, a chemical that makes us feel good. It's a quick hit of happiness that's hard to resist. Over time, our brains get addicted to these quick hits of dopamine, reinforcing the habit of procrastination. It's a cycle that's tough to break because our brain starts to crave these instant rewards. Our minds start to prefer easy wins over long-term rewards. We opt for the immediate pleasure of junk food or video games instead of the long-term benefits of healthy eating or studying. In other words, our brains are set up to prioritize short-term pleasure over tasks that may be uncomfortable now but beneficial later. It's a constant battle between what feels good now and what's good for us in the long run. So next time you find yourself avoiding a task, you can thank your limbic system for that little nudge away from productivity. Understanding this can help us find strategies to overcome procrastination and take control of our actions. Another key player is the anterior cingulate cortex, which is involved in decision-making and emotional regulation. When we face a challenging task, this part of the brain can trigger feelings of anxiety and stress, making us more likely to procrastinate. For example, a case study of a student procrastinating on a project showed increased activity in the anterior cingulate cortex, indicating heightened stress levels. Experts suggest that understanding this can help develop better strategies to manage procrastination. The insula, another part of the brain, is responsible for processing emotions and bodily sensations. When we anticipate a task to be unpleasant, the insula can amplify feelings of discomfort, pushing us to avoid the task altogether. Studies have shown that mindfulness techniques can help reduce the activity in the insula, making it easier to start and complete tasks. By being aware of our emotional responses, we can better manage procrastination. By understanding how different parts of the brain contribute to procrastination, we can develop strategies to counteract these tendencies. Setting small, manageable goals and practicing mindfulness can help rewire our brains for better productivity. Now that we understand how our brain plays a role in procrastination, let's delve deeper into the psychology behind it. Procrastination isn't just a simple act of laziness, it's a complex behavior influenced by various psychological factors. Psychologists have identified several key theories that explain why we put things off, even when we know better. These theories help us understand the underlying mechanisms that drive our procrastination habits. First up is something called temporal discounting. This is the tendency to devalue rewards that are far off in the future. Our brains are wired to prioritize immediate gratification over long-term benefits. For example, studying for an exam that's weeks away feels much less rewarding than watching a favorite show right now. The immediate pleasure of entertainment outweighs the distant reward of good grades. It's not that we don't care about the exam, it's that our brain sees future rewards as less important. This cognitive bias makes it challenging to stay motivated for tasks with delayed outcomes. Then there's fear of failure. This is where things get emotional. The anxiety of not meeting expectations can be paralyzing. Sometimes we procrastinate because we're afraid we won't do a task well enough. The fear of not being perfect can stop us from even starting. When the stakes feel high, we subconsciously avoid starting to protect ourselves from possible disappointment or judgment. This avoidance is a way to shield our self-esteem. It's a defensive tactic, even if it's not a productive one. By not starting, we avoid the risk of failure, but we also miss out on the opportunity to succeed. And finally, we have present bias. This is the brain's tendency to focus on immediate needs and desires, rather than future goals. Our attention is easily captured by tasks that offer instant gratification. Imagine you have a deadline next week, but instead of getting started, you find yourself reorganizing your closet or catching up on emails. Tasks that feel productive but aren't actually moving you closer to your goal. This is a classic example of present bias in action. These psychological traps are sneaky because they're designed to make us feel better in the short term. They provide a temporary sense of relief and satisfaction. But when we understand them, we can start to recognize the patterns and interrupt them before they take over. By being aware of these tendencies, we can develop strategies to overcome procrastination and achieve our long-term goals. Another theory is the role of task aversion. When a task is perceived as unpleasant or boring, we tend to avoid it. This aversion can be due to the task's difficulty, lack of interest, or even past negative experiences. For instance, if you dislike doing taxes, you might put it off until the last minute, even though you know it needs to be done. The discomfort associated with the task leads to procrastination. Additionally, the concept of self-handicapping comes into play. This is when individuals create obstacles to their own success to protect their self-esteem. By procrastinating, they can blame their lack of success on the delay rather than their abilities. For example, a student might procrastinate on a project and then claim they didn't have enough time to do it well, rather than admitting they were unsure of their skills. Understanding these theories and their implications can help us identify why we procrastinate and develop better strategies to manage our time and tasks effectively. By recognizing these patterns, we can take proactive steps to mitigate procrastination, such as breaking tasks into smaller, manageable parts, setting specific deadlines, and rewarding ourselves for completing tasks. Ultimately, understanding the psychological theories behind procrastination empowers us to take control of our actions and achieve our goals more efficiently. Now that we've identified why we procrastinate, let's talk about how to break free from it. Procrastination can be a tough habit to break, but with the right strategies, you can overcome it and start achieving your goals. Here are 5 science-backed strategies to overcome procrastination and start getting things done. These methods are designed to help you take control of your time and boost your productivity. First, break it down. This means taking a large, daunting task and dividing it into smaller, more manageable parts. When a task feels overwhelming, our brains are more likely to avoid it. The sheer size of the task can make it seem impossible to start. By breaking a big task into smaller, manageable steps, we can trick our brain into feeling less intimidated. This makes it easier to take the first step. For example, if you need to write a report, start with a single paragraph. Just focus on that one small part, and before you know it, you'll have made significant progress. Small tasks are easier to begin, and once you start, momentum can carry you forward. Each small accomplishment builds your confidence and motivation. Next is the 5-minute rule. This technique is incredibly effective for overcoming the initial resistance to starting a task. This is a simple trick where you commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. It's a short enough time that it doesn't feel overwhelming. Once you get started, you're more likely to continue. Often, the hardest part is just beginning, and this rule helps you get over that initial hurdle. It's a way of bypassing the brain's resistance by making the commitment so small, it feels doable. And finally, reward yourself. Positive reinforcement can be a powerful motivator. Remember that dopamine hit we talked about earlier? It's the brain's way of rewarding us for completing tasks. You can use it to your advantage. By giving yourself a reward after completing a task, you create a positive association with productivity. By rewarding yourself after completing a task, whether it's a small snack, a break, or a quick scroll on social media, you can create positive associations with productive behavior. This makes it more likely that you'll want to start and complete tasks in the future. Another effective strategy is to set specific deadlines. According to experts, having a clear timeline can help you stay focused and motivated. Deadlines create a sense of urgency and can help you prioritize tasks. They also provide a clear endpoint, making it easier to track your progress. Additionally, consider using the Pomodoro technique. This method involves working for 25 minutes, then taking a 5-minute break. It helps maintain focus and prevents burnout. Success stories from people who have overcome procrastination often highlight the importance of finding a method that works for you. For instance, Jane, a successful entrepreneur, swears by the Pomodoro technique to manage her time effectively. Finally, seek accountability. Sharing your goals with a friend or mentor can provide the extra push you need to stay on track. These strategies are simple but effective. They work by aligning with how our brains naturally function, making it easier to overcome procrastination. By working with your brain rather than fighting it, you can start to break the cycle of procrastination and make real progress toward your goals. Remember, the key is to start small, stay consistent, and reward yourself along the way. Alright, let's recap. Procrastination is more than just a bad habit. It's a natural response from our brains that prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term benefits. Between the limbic system's instant gratification monkey and psychological traps like temporal discounting, fear of failure, and present bias, it's no wonder we all struggle with procrastination. But we don't have to stay stuck in this cycle. By breaking tasks down, using the 5-minute rule, and rewarding ourselves for small wins, we can retrain our brains to work with us rather than against us. If you found these strategies helpful, consider giving them a try the next time you catch yourself putting something off. And hey, why not start with a quick win by subscribing to this channel for more science-backed tips on mastering your mind and improving your productivity? Let us know in the comments, what's your biggest struggle with procrastination? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching. For more resources, check out the links in the description. We've compiled a list of books, apps, and articles to help you take immediate steps to combat procrastination. Start today. Take one small step right now and watch how it transforms your productivity. You've got this.